How's it going, guys? As always, my name is Jimmy Champagne. This is Deck Ready, my channel all about the Steam Deck. And in today's video, we have 3 topics to cover. Starting out with a new SteamOS handheld has been revealed. Second on the list, the Steam Deck OLED is finally discounted and you should definitely pick one up. And third, Space Marine 2 just got a huge update that helps it on the Steam Deck, but I still don't think it's good enough to make that your only option. All right, let's jump into the first topic here because it's really interesting to me. So we know that Valve is working on getting SteamOS 3.0 on other devices. They've baked in updates that have, button support for the ROG Ally and Ally X, but now coming out of left field, it looks like Lenovo is jumping in the ring as well with the new updated version of the Lenovo Legion Go. So this is like the S version. It's going to be smaller. It's going to be similar to the size and scale of something like the ROG Ally and the Steam Deck. And it looks pretty good, right? Like I haven't held it in my hands. I don't know what it feels like, but it looks on par with everything else that we have in the world of gaming. And, the Lenovo Legion Go is massive. So if there's one thing that they could do to kind of make it more ergonomic, I think it would be make it a little bit smaller. But the thing that's really interesting about it is that 2 versions of it leaked. There's a white version and a black version. It looks like the white version is going to run Windows. That's going to be its own SKU. It's going to run Windows 11 and it'll probably be a little bit downclocked from the Lenovo Legion Go just because it's so much smaller. But then there's a black version that if you look really close, like in the top left corner of the device, right next to the screen, there's a Steam button, which is leading a lot of people to believe that this thing is going to run SteamOS out of the box. So when you go to the store to buy the Lenovo Legion Go S, you're going to be able to buy the Windows version in white or the SteamOS version in black. And if you look at the picture of the white one, the button is there, but it doesn't have the Steam logo on it. And that's why people like Tom Warren are guessing that there's going to be 2 different SKUs of this product. And, from a brand perspective, I think it is smart to support both operating systems. Xbox just did release a huge update for the Xbox app that's adding a ton more PC games to the storefront. They want this to be the source to buy PC games, play PC Game Pass on Windows enabled computers. They won't pull their head out of their ass and just port the app over to Linux. So if you want to take advantage of Game Pass, I would obviously go with the Windows version, or if you play Call of Duty, because that doesn't work on the regular SteamOS 3.0 systems like the Steam Deck. But if you're someone who likes SteamOS 3.0 and you want the option to install Windows at any point, I mean, this could be a good option for you just because as far as support goes, I mean, the Lenovo device is going to get way more Windows support than the Steam device, right? Like the Steam Deck OLED took a long time to get audio drivers for the Windows side of things. And even if you do install Windows, you largely get worse performance on the Steam Deck than you do using SteamOS 3.0. So yeah, if you're someone who wants to be able to have that safety net of switching away from SteamOS 3.0 or having it be dual bootable or something like that, obviously the SteamOS version of the Legion Go is going to be kind of in your wheelhouse. But I personally, I think it's cool. I think it's sweet that there's more devices that are using SteamOS, mainly because I really don't like Windows. I've been gaming on Windows a lot lately between Hunt Showdown and switching between my PC and my Steam Deck for Kingdom Come Deliverance. I've also been using my new Moza racing wheel with Assetto Corsa, downloading some tracks and everything like that. Windows just gets in the freaking way. It's always trying to update stuff. There's always stuttering. You got to limit the frames through third-party tools. It's just a mess. I'm not a fan of Windows. So if we're getting more devices that don't use Windows, maybe that will encourage them to improve Windows and make it a good gaming operating system for devices like my gaming laptop that only exist for playing games. But the real reason I'm excited about this isn't for the new hardware. It is, of course, because it gets us one step closer to the full release of SteamOS 3.0. I think it'll be cool if Microsoft can figure out how to make Windows a dedicated gaming platform. I think that's obviously where they're heading with their console market, since, they're giving in and taking the L in terms of beating Sony because they're never going to do it. But if I'm able to install SteamOS 3.0 on my laptop that has a 4090, an i7 13 something 100K, I forget at this point, and 32 gigs of RAM, I want to do that. I want all the performance benefits. I want all the just no frills gaming experience that that I can get using Linux-based operating systems like SteamOS 3.0. I know you can install Bazzite, but I talk about this all the time. There's people out there making Steam Deck videos that are way smarter than me. They have like IT degrees and stuff like that. They're working in the field of computers. Those guys are the ones who are going to put in the work to get stuff like Bazzite up and running on their main gaming machine. Me, I'd rather just wait for the official release. Like, I have the Steam Deck for SteamOS gaming whenever I want it. Windows is doing its job, and if I want to play a game with like literally no frills, I have a PS5 and PS5 Pro just sitting in front of my TVs and on my desk over there for when I want to play Gran Turismo 7. Like, I'm not that hardcore. Like, I don't need to install third-party versions of SteamOS, but if Valve kind of comes out and releases their own official version of it, I'll take that as a sign that it's ready to go, and I'll be excited to install it at least as a partition to start out with on my main gaming PC, because that was a huge reason why I was so excited for the SteamOS operating system to begin with. Back when they announced the Steam Deck over 2 years ago, the biggest thing I was excited for, of course, was the hardware itself, because a handheld PC is just awesome. But like, the top layer of that was, oh, I'll be able to eventually install this on my main gaming rig, and I'll be able to transfer all my saves, have the exact same operating system, and at that point, I'll be able to just build a console that lives under my TV, which is just incredible. Like, I wouldn't go as far as to say I'll build a micro or mini ITX build or anything like that, but if I could build a somewhat small form factor PC that I can put in my TV stand that I know is going to have all my saves and everything like that, that I can interact with a controller like my DualSense Edge, that's what I want. Like, I am happy to abandon the full-on console market just to get that better performance. I'm happy to pay for it as well. And just the Steam ecosystem is where I want to be. I love SteamOS 3.0, and I cannot wait till we get to that point where you can install it on anything. Getting it on devices like the Lenovo Legion Go S and the ROG Ally and Ally X, it's cool. I mean, those devices are cool if you're into it, but the real win for me will be when we get past that and I can install this operating system on any device I want, because that's the true end goal for me as a SteamOS evangelist. Anyway, that brings me to the second news story of today's video, which is that the Steam Deck OLED is finally on sale. You can get a pretty healthy discount on both SKUs of the Steam Deck OLED. You just got to buy a refurbished model from Valve. But I will say, my friend Austin Evans, who also was my boss for a while, like 5 years, he did a video where he bought one of the refurbished LCD model Steam Decks and took a look at it. He tore it down, and to his eye, it was like as close to a brand new Steam Deck as you could possibly get. So what you get is, yeah, maybe someone sent back a Steam Deck for RMA, and then they did that thing where they just send out a brand new one because it's quicker, but then they strip down the busted one or the one that's having problems and rebuild it and replace every part. At that point, you're essentially getting a brand new Steam Deck anyway. But let me just tell you the prices. So the normal price of a Steam Deck OLED with 512 gigabytes of storage is $549, but you can actually get this refurbished model for $439, so $110 off. That is like no-brainer territory, right? Like, it's still like $39 more, I guess, than the Steam Deck LCD would be, but you're getting 512 gigs of storage, and you could just upgrade the SSD yourself, and you're getting the OLED screen and the performance improvements that come along with it. If you've been waiting to upgrade from the Steam Deck LCD, I mean, this is a no-brainer, I think, just to get that 512 gig model, but they're also selling 1 terabyte models, and that's an even bigger discount. You're going to pay $519 instead of $649. Like, that's crazy, man. Like, I don't know how it would shake out if it would be cheaper to buy a refurbished 512 model and then upgrade the SSD yourself, but you also get the anti-glare screen with the 1 terabyte version, and I really like the anti-glare screen. I think it looks great on the limited edition one I have. This is awesome. I think this is definitely worth picking up. I've never had an issue buying refurbished stuff from any company, and I do it all the time because I'm cheap. Like, I bought refurbished MacBooks that came out great. I bought refurbished, iPods and iPhones back in the day, and I've never really had a bad experience. The only thing I don't think I would buy refurbished is like headphones or VR headsets, like anything that's touching holes in your body, like your eyes that leak liquid or your ears that have stuff in them sometimes, if you don't clean your ears in the shower, and you should clean the back of your ears every time, shampoo is not enough. I don't want to put that stuff in my ears or over my eyes if it was touched by someone else. No offense to any of you out there, but everything else, like the Steam Deck, a gaming device you hold in your hands, I don't think you really have any risk here because Valve has a great warranty service with these things. You get the same warranty that you get with a brand new Steam Deck. So if you want to save some money, and a pretty healthy amount of money, you should definitely pick one of these up, but they're out of stock right now. So you're going to have to keep your eye out for them to be restocked as time goes on. I guess that goes to show how much of an improvement in the hardware they made between the LCD and the OLED. Like when the LCD went into refurbished, you could get those pretty easily, but if no one's sending back their OLEDs, I guess that's a really good sign for the longevity of this device. Anyway, that brings me to the third story of today's video, which is all about Space Marine 2. So if you didn't see, they just released a new patch. It's got a new operation. It's got some new weapons. It's got Black Templars, which is awesome. And it includes FSR 3.0 support with frame generation. And if you use it on the Steam Deck, you theoretically can get up to 60 FPS out of this game. And I'm just going to be real with you guys. I understand that there's a subsect of the Steam Deck community that thinks this is awesome. They're like, whoa, I'm getting 60 FPS. But if you've ever used frame generation and like you care about frame times, you care about latency, you use VSync with your games, you just want the cleanest, most consistent image possible, you probably are like me and you don't love frame generation. And the biggest key factor with frame generation is that you need a high base input for it to actually be good, because if you don't have a high base input frame rate, you're going to see a lot of latency in the controls. And if you go look at YouTube videos of people using FSR 3 with frame generation on the Steam Deck with Space Marine 2, you can see the latency between them moving the camera with the right stick and it actually doing it in the game. And like you can get 60 kind of, because it's doubling the frame rate with AI generated frames. But even with FSR 3 at the lowest settings, this game runs when you have Tyranids on the screen at like 20 FPS. So it's going to be between 40 and 60 with the doubled up frame rate. If this is your only way to play the game, I would not pick it up. I think it's too big for the Steam Deck. I think this is a true next gen game and you should wait for a beefier PC or getting a PlayStation 5 or Xbox Series X or S. As much as I want to recommend this game because it's my personal game of the year, it's too big for the Steam Deck. So while it is cool that they are continuing to update it and give it better performance and better visuals with things like FSR 3 and everything like that, I think it needs a few more patches, or, you know, it's just always going to be too big for the current Steam Deck and you're going to have to wait a few years until the Steam Deck 2 comes out to really get a good experience out of this game. It's a bummer, but like we're in the part of the generation where we're finally getting true next gen games. I mean, just judging by the Game Awards last night, there was a lot of stuff announced, like The Witcher 4 running on an unannounced RTX card using Unreal Engine 5. That's not going to run on the current Steam Deck. And I think people just need to accept that, because if you expect games like that to run on the Steam Deck, you're going to be disappointed. Anyway, guys, that's all I've got for you in today's video. As always, my name is Jimmy Champagne. I'll see you in the next one. Thanks for watching and shape on.